What it is, guys, it is your boy Damien15, and in this video, we are going to be doing a little bit of a retrospective of the America the Beautiful National Park quarters. Now that the program has officially come to an end, I believe this is a pretty good time to go over each of the designs and, what they depict, who designed them, and, a little bit of what I think about them here and there. So, without further ado, let's kick things off with the 2010 quarters. Alright, this is the Hot Springs Quarter. The Hot Springs Quarter was the first quarter released by the US Mint for this series. Released on April 19th, 2010, this design features the facade of the Hot Springs National Park headquarters building with a thermal fountain in front of the building. The HQ was built in the sort of Spanish colonial revival style, and construction was completed in 1936. The National Park Service logo, can be seen to the right of the door, and this design was made by Dawn Everhart. And now let's move on to the next quarter. The Yellowstone Quarter, designed by John Flanagan, is the second of the series. Released on June 1st, 2010, this coin depicts the Old Faithful geyser along with a bull bison. The iconic El Capitan can be seen on the reverse of the Yosemite Quarter, released on July 26, 2010, and designed by Joseph Mena. 3,000 feet below the peak of El Capitan can be seen the valley floor. El Capitan holds the title and the record of being the largest monolith of granite on Earth. A sight to behold, the Grand Canyon, another one of America's most recognizable sights. Released on September 20th, 2010, this design came to be by designer Phoebe Hemphill, depicting a view of the granaries above the Nankoweap Delta in Marble Canyon, the Grand Canyon's northernmost sector. Phoebe Hemphill returned to design the last of the 2010 park quarters. Released on November 15th, 2010, the Mount Hood Quarter sees Mount Hood in the distance, as well as the Lost Lake in the foreground. We kick 2011 off with my home state of Pennsylvania and the famous site of the Civil War's bloodiest battle, the Battle of Gettysburg, July 1863. Released on January 24th, 2011, and designed by Joel Iskowitz. This coin features the monument of the 72nd Pennsylvania Infantry, located on the battle line of the Union Army at Cemetery Ridge. The northeast slope of Mount Reynolds, and a mountain goat climbing the slopes of the high country, a design brought to life by Barbara Fox. The Glacier Quarter was released on April 4th, 2011, depicting this incredible design. Not to be confused with the Olympic Games, the Olympic Quarter, designed by Susan Gamble and released on June 13th, 2011, depicts a Roosevelt elk named after former U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt, standing on a gravel river bar of the Ho River, with Mount Olympus in the background. Thomas Cleveland came to design a coin with a very popular characteristic: a boat. In the case of the Vicksburg quarter, released August 29, 2011, the boat is the USS Cairo, sailing on the Yazoo River in western Mississippi, where it would have been seen during its service in the United States Civil War for the Union Navy. The Lincoln Bridge, built of limestone in 1909 to celebrate 100 years since President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It can be seen on the Chickasaw Quarter, released November 14, 2011, and designed by Donna Weaver. This was the final quarter design issued in 2011. Kicking off 2012, we travel outside the states and into a U.S. territory for the first time in the America the Beautiful coinage program, namely Puerto Rico and the El Yunque National Forest. Brought to us by designer Gary Whitley and released on January 23, 2012, this design features a coqui tree frog sitting on a leaf and a Puerto Rican parrot behind an epiphyte plant with tropical flora in the background. Donna Weaver returned to design the Chacao Culture Quarter, released on April 2nd, 2012. This coin depicts a view to the west of two elevated kivas that are a part of the Chetro Kettle complex. The design also shows the north wall of the Chetro Kettle and the north wall of the canyon. From the glaciers to Acadia, Barbara Fox also returned to design the Acadia Quarter, released on June 11, 2012. This design displays a view of the Bass Harbor Head Lighthouse and Acadia's rough coastline, with pine trees in the background. Next, we travel to the Hawaiian Islands to take in the majestic beauty of its volcanoes. Designed by Charles L. Vickers and released on August 27, 2012, this coin depicts an eruption of Kilauea volcano. Yet another returning designer. This time, Susan Gamble returns with a design in the form of the Denali National Park Quarter, the final quarter of the 2012 issues. Released November 5th, 2012, this design features a doll sheep with Mount McKinley rising in the background, the mountain being named after former U.S. President William McKinley. And just to clarify, the official name of the mountain is still Mount McKinley, not Mount Denali. I know a lot of people still call it Mount Denali, but just know that the official name is Mount McKinley. Phoebe Hemphill returns yet again, this time to kick off 2013 with the White Mountain Quarter. Released January 28, 2013, this design features Mount Shokoroa, the easternmost peak of the Sandwich Ridge, framed by birch trees. Now here's a name we haven't heard since the first National Park Quarter. Dawn Everhart designed the Perry's Victory Quarter, released April 1st, 2013, and depicting the statue of Oliver Hazard Perry, and the tall peace memorial behind him. Traveling to Nevada, we head to the Great Basin Park, where bristlecone pine trees are shown in all their unique beauty. This coin was designed by Ronald D. Sanders and released on June 10th, 2013. Joseph Mena returned to design the Fort McHenry Quarter. Released on August 26, 2013, this coin features a representation of the fort during Defenders Day, a celebration and fireworks show representing the rocket's red glare, linking Fort McHenry to its historic past. To wrap up 2013, Joseph Mena returns once again to design another one of America's most recognized landmarks. Released on November 4th, 2013, the Mount Rushmore Quarter features working men making the final touches to President Thomas Jefferson's head carving on the mountain. To begin 2014, Chris Costello takes us to the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. Released on January 27, 2014, the reverse depicts an old historic log cabin built within the park, as well as a lush forest and a hawk soaring above. The mountains can be seen in the background as well. Next, we travel to Shenandoah, where once again designer Phoebe Hemphill brings us another beautiful scenery. Released on March 31st, 2014, the Shenandoah Quarter features a hiker taking in the breathtaking view from atop of the Little Stony Man summit. Donna Weaver returned to design the Arches of Utah. Released June 9th, 2014, the Arches National Park Quarter features Delicate Arch, a freestanding natural arch that stands 65 feet tall. Dawn Everhart shows us the importance of both family and nature at the same time. Released on August 25th, 2014, the Great Sand Dunes Quarter features a father and son playing in the sand beside the bed of the creek. The mountains and the sand dunes can be seen in the background. Wrapping up 2014, we travel to Florida and its iconic Everglades National Park. Joel Iskowitz returned to bring this design to life. Released on November 3rd, 2014, the Everglades Quarter features an anhinga sitting on a willow tree with its wings stretched out. To start 2015, we travel to Nebraska to view the Homestead National Monument. Released on February 9th, 2015, and designed by Ronald D. Sanders, the Homestead Quarter represents the three fundamentals of survival common to all homesteaders: food, shelter, and water. Next, we go to Louisiana and the Kisatchie National Forest, designed once again by Susan Gamble and released on April 13th, 2015. The Kisatchie Quarter features a wild turkey in flight above blue stem grass, with long-leaf pine being seen in the background. This was the last National Park Quarter designed by Susan Gamble before her unfortunate passing. The Blue Ridge Parkway Quarter, designed by Frank Morris and released June 22nd, 2015, depicts the grace and curvature of the road hugging the side of a mountain, with the North Carolina state flower, the flowering dogwood, in the foreground. Joel Iskowitz returned to design the Bombay Hook Quarter. Released on September 14th, 2015, the Bombay Hook Quarter depicts a great blue heron in the foreground and a great egret in the background. Wrapping up 2015, Barbara Fox returned once again to bring us the Saratoga Quarter. Released on November 16th, 2015, the Saratoga Quarter displays a close-up shot of the moment General John Burgoyne surrendered his sword to General Horatio Gates, a turning point that many colonists believed turned the colonies towards the beginning of the end of the Revolutionary War. We kick off 2016 with the Shawnee Quarter. Released on February 1st, 2016, and designed by Justin Kunz. This coin features a close-up of Camel Rock, with lush vegetation in the foreground, and a red-tailed hawk soaring above. Next we travel to Kentucky, to Cumberland Gap. Released on April 4th, 2016, and designed once again by Barbara Fox. This coin features a frontiersman gazing across the mountains to the west. John Brown Fort can be seen on the reverse of the Harper's Ferry Quarter, a fairly straightforward yet complex design brought forth by Thomas Hipston, and released on June 6th, 2016. President Theodore Roosevelt was mentioned earlier in the program, and here he is again, this time having his name and image appearing on the reverse of the Theodore Roosevelt Quarter. Released on August 29th, 2016, designer Joel Iskowitz depicted a youthful Theodore Roosevelt on horseback, surveying the terrain near the Little Missouri River. Wrapping up 2016, we have the Fort Moultrie Quarter. Released on November 14th, 2016, and designed by Richard Scott, this quarter features Sergeant William Jasper, returning the regimental flag to the ramparts while being attacked by a British vessel. Kicking off 2017, Richard Masters designed the popular effigy mounds of Iowa. Released on February 6th, 2017, the coin design shows us an aerial view of the mounds in the marching bear group. Next, we travel to the District of Columbia and the Frederick Douglass National Historical Site. Designed by returning designer Thomas Hipston and released on April 3rd, 2017, this coin depicts Frederick Douglass near his Washington, D.C. home, writing. The peaceful sounds of a raging river. You can practically hear it when you look at the river on the reverse of the Ozark Riverways Quarter. Released on June 5th, 2017, and designed once again by Ronald D. Sanders, this coin features Alley Mill, a steel roller mill built in 1894. This contraption was used to turn wheat into flour. Every American knows, or should know, the Statue of Liberty. It sits on Ellis Island near Manhattan, New York, more commonly known as New York City. This historic monument is commemorated on multiple American coins, most recently the Ellis Island Quarter, released August 28, 2017. Though this quarter doesn't actually depict the Statue of Liberty, it is still highly thought of when Ellis Island is mentioned. Designed by Barbara Fox, this quarter depicts a small family of immigrants viewing Ellis Island with the hopes of starting a new and better lifestyle. Finishing off 2017, we have the George Rogers Clark Quarter. Released November 13th, 2017, and designed by Frank Morris, this coin features George Rogers Clark leading his men to Fort Sackville via the flooded plains. To start 2018, designer Paul C. Ballin brings us the Pictured Rocks Quarter. Released on February 5th, 2018, this coin depicts Chapel Rock and the white pine growing on top of it. Next, we travel to the Apostle Islands in northern Wisconsin. Released on April 9th, 2018, designer Richard Masters brings this design to life, featuring the sea caves at Devil's Island with the lighthouse in the background and a kayaker paddling in the foreground. Patricia Lucas Morris designed the Voyagers Quarter. Released on June 11th, 2018, this coin features a loon with a rock cliff and a couple of trees in the background. 2 years after the Mint released the Cumberland Gap Quarter, we have the Cumberland Island Quarter. Released on August 27th, 2018. Wait a minute. Well, what a coincidence. That was the release date of the first video on this channel. Anyways, this coin, designed by Donna Weaver, features a snowy egret posing on a branch on the edge of a salt marsh, ready for flight. Wrapping up 2018, we head to Block Island in Rhode Island. Released on November 13th, 2018, and designed by Chris Costello, the coin design depicts a black-crowned night heron flying over a view from the beach at Cow Cove, looking towards Sandy Point and the North Lighthouse being seen in the background. Alright, now before we hit the 2019 and 2020 quarters, I just wanted to say that, in 2019 and 2020, the U.S. Mint caused a bit of a craze when the U.S. Mint of West Point, New York, decided they wanted to get involved in the National Park Quarter program. And still in 2021, West Point minted quarters are still being found. Kicking off 2019, Joel Iskowitz returned once again to design the Lowell Quarter. Released February 4th, 2019, Iskowitz depicted a mill girl working in a power loom. A view of Lowell, including the Boot Mill Clock Tower, is visible through the window. For our next quarter, I decided to depict an example with the West Point mint mark, so everyone would know what it looked like. Anyways, this is the American Memorial Park Quarter, commonly shortened to AMP. Released on April 1st, 2019, Donna Weaver featured a woman in traditional clothing in front of the flag circle and court of honor. She has her hands placed on a plaque that honors those who sacrificed their lives in the Marianas Campaign in World War II. Next, we head to a little more of a violent scene. The War in the Pacific Quarter, released June 3rd, 2019, and designed once again by Joel Iskowitz, depicts American forces coming ashore at Asan Bay, strengthening the number of troops on the island in the fight for Guam and its eventual liberation. The next coin pays homage to a Spanish real coin made in the 1700s. The San Antonio Missions Quarter, designed by Chris Costello and released August 26, 2019, depicts 4 quadrants and a symbol in each, representing the San Antonio missions. Wheat symbolizes farming, the arches and bell symbolize community, a lion, which represents Spanish cultural heritage, and a symbol of the San Antonio River, representing irrigation methods and life-sustaining resources. Wrapping up 2019, we head to Idaho and the River of No Return. Released November 4th, 2019, and designed by Emily Damstra, this coin features a piloted drift boat on the rushing river encompassed by the trees and rock formations of the wilderness. Before we proceed with the 2020 quarters, I'd like to bring up something about the West Point minted quarters. As mentioned, the West Point Mint made quarters in 2019 and 2020. However, something was added to the W quarters made in 2020, a privy mark inscribed V75. This inscription represents the 75th anniversary of the end of World War II, the V standing for victory. This privy mark was also seen on 2020 American Silver Eagle dollar coins made in West Point as well. A small detail that goes a long way in commemorating a crucial part of our world history. Kicking off 2020, we head to the National Park in American Samoa. Released February 3rd, 2020, and designed by Richard Masters, the coin depicts a Samoan fruit bat and its offspring hanging from a tree. The design is intended to promote awareness to the species' threatened status due to habitat loss and commercial hunting. Next, we travel to Connecticut and the Weir Farms National Historical Site. Released on April 6, 2020, designer Justin Kunz brought this park for art to life by depicting an artist painting outside Julian Alden Weir's studio at Weir Farm. We head outside the states and into territories once again. This time, Salt River Bay in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Released on June 1st, 2020, and designed once again by Richard Masters, this coin depicts a red mangrove tree in an early part of its life cycle. Next, we go all the way up north to Vermont. Donna Weaver depicts the Marsh Billings Rockefeller National Historical Park. Released on August 31st, 2020, this coin features a young girl completing the planting of a Norway spruce seedling near an established tree, continuing the life cycle of the forest. The child is meant to represent the conservationist, seeking to preserve sustainable conditions in the forest for the good of the future. Wrapping up 2020, we have the beautiful Tallgrass Prairie Quarter. Designed by Emily Damstra and released on November 16th, 2020, this coin features a regal fritillary butterfly in flight, with a backdrop of big blue stem and Indian grasses. And finally, to wrap up the America the Beautiful National Park Quarter program, we have the Tuskegee Airmen Quarter. Released on February 1st, 2021, and designed by Chris Costello, this coin features a pilot gearing up to join the fights in World War II, motion field control, and 2 in-flight P-51 Mustangs can be seen in the background. And that's gonna wrap up the video, guys. Just a few things before we hit the usual wrap-up. I do want to give credit to usacoinbook.com for the images of each of the quarters used in this video. And also, if you like the music that I used in this video, check the link in the description down below and support the original creators. So, yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it. If you guys like this video, leave a thumbs up down below, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family. If you want to follow me on Instagram, a link will be in the description down below. And if you want to check out my other channels, links will also be in the description. Until next time, currency collectors, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.